Our next dinosaur is a special one. He transcends the size categorization that most other dinosaurs in this game adhere to. The Mosasaurus is not a large dinosaur, and it's certainly not a medium or small sized dinosaur. Frankly, size-wise, it would be a large dinosaur. The largest dinosaur, actually, as a Mosasaurus is about 6 feet longer than a Brachiosaurus is tall. The reason why the Mosasaurus isn't included with the large dinosaurs is because a Mosasaurus simply doesn't dwell on land. It's a water dweller, and only available to play in the Mosasaurus arena in the Jurassic World open area. You head underneath the viewing area and control the main attraction yourself. While this is the only place to control the Mosasaurus, they really try their best to make the most of it. Quite a few gold bricks to be collected here, namely using the Mosasaurus' new ability, the Amber ability. This ability is also seen above sea level, so get used to seeing it from here on out. Basically, if you see amber-esque looking bricks, you can hold down the action button to roar. Roaring makes the amber vibrate and break. In this case, you needed to break 3 splotches of amber to unlock a gold brick. Also, the skeleton variant for this guy is awesome, and I don't use that word a lot for this game. Just a straight up gargantuan of a skeleton. Also, something I noticed, if you double press the B button, the skeleton Mosasaurus sinks to the pool bottom, like how skeletons tend to sink to the bottom of water. The regular Mosasaurus doesn't do this, so I think it might have been intentional. Nice touch if so. Vic Hoskins was the head of security at Jurassic World. This guy has a fascination with weaponizing dinosaurs for use in the military, so you know this guy has his head in the right place. He ended up dying ironically to the velociraptors he wanted to weaponize, but his desire to use dinosaurs for malicious geopolitical means ended up moving forward in Fallen Kingdom, where dinosaurs were being sold to the highest bidder after their rescue from Isla Nublar. Vic Hoskins has 3 abilities: InGen, Jurassic World Panels, and Vine. At first I was going to say that he shouldn't have InGen, as I thought it was defunct by the time of Jurassic World, but then I saw Jurassic World Rebirth and found that it was a little bit more complicated than that. And technically, Vic Hoskins was a part of InGen security in the early 2000s and helped track down those pteranodons that escaped from Isla Sorna Aviary in Jurassic Park 3. So I will allow his InGen ability, but this is confirmation that Henry Wu did in fact lose his InGen login info. Who is this guy? He is so suave and cool. So much personality for such a nameless man. This is the Jurassic Park Warden, and he has probably the best idle animations we've seen thus far. Just look at that wink and snap. And the jig! I love this man. I feel like there's something to the fact that this guy, a filler character, has such a lively idle animation, while Jimmy Fallon didn't get any special idols at all. Are the developers trying to tell us something? Anywho, the Jurassic Park Warden has 3 abilities and all make sense for what his job is: InGen, Target, and Track. Speaking of his job, there is a Warden for Jurassic Park with an actual name, and I'm refraining from saying that name because we're about to see him pretty soon. How many Wardens does Jurassic Park even have? I would think they would have just the one. Maybe the more important Warden, the one with the name, does all the wardening, while this guy is his cheerleader with the heel clicks. By golly, I think we've cracked the code. Jerry Harding was the chief veterinarian at Jurassic Park. You see this guy in the film when he was treating a sick Triceratops. That scene is also adapted in this game as part of the Welcome to Jurassic Park level, where you actually play Jerry Harding in that level. I don't know if you remember InGen investor Gerald, but I pondered who the InGen investor could be, but concluded that he is not Jerry here, despite them sharing names technically. Jerry Harding's 3 abilities also make sense for him: InGen, Target, and Track. So basically, the same as Jurassic Park Warden, except this time it's a guy who actually had a line or two in the film, and doesn't have the sickest dance moves, of course. Jerry Harding is the father of Sarah Harding, the female lead for the second film. I don't believe they ever actually addressed it in the films. Not that I expect them to. Honestly, it's kinda neat, like a detail to reward fans for digging a little deeper, you know? Jerry Harding was also featured in Jurassic Park the Game, a Telltale game that takes place during the park shutdown in the first film, but in the perspective of Jerry Harding and his other daughter, Jessica. Let's take a look at Jerry Harding in the movie and see how faithful they are to his look in the game.
Oh no, he's hot!
Here we have the lead Jurassic Park Warden himself, the supposed boss of the Jurassic Park Warden we saw 2 segments ago. Except this time, this guy doesn't have sick dance moves and a flirtatious nature. Robert Muldoon played a pretty big role in the first Jurassic Park film and met an ironic fate at the hands, or talons, of the velociraptors that he'd spent years studying.
Clever girl.
Just like his Warden subordinate, he shares the same 3 abilities of InGen, Target, and Track. In addition, there are 2 variants of this guy for your enjoyment. There's the first variant, the standard one with his usual getup, and then there's the raincoat variant with him in you guessed it, a raincoat. But this time, he's not wearing his hat. It gives us a good look at his hair, which isn't a physical Lego hairpiece in sets. It's like slicked back.
You think this is slicked back? This is pushed back.
My bad. Supervisor Nick is actually a character you play as in the story alongside Chris Pratt's character. Them 2 together investigate the Indominus Rex paddock. In the film, after the Indominus Rex revealed itself from its camouflage, Supervisor Nick and Chris Pratt run for the doors, while the Indominus Rex scooped up some extra casualties including Handler Ellis, or Nick Kilgore, whichever you prefer. Outside the paddock, the Indominus Rex quickly smelled Supervisor Nick's rank smell and killed him, while Chris Pratt covered himself in gasoline to mask his own rankness. And if you're wondering why I won't say Chris Pratt's character's name, it's because I'm pretty sure Chris Pratt is just playing himself. Anyway, Supervisor Nick has 3 abilities, including one that is new. The stuff we've seen before are the Jurassic World panels and repair. Not sure if the Supervisor Nick I saw in the film would be a repairing type of guy, but I'll let it slide. The new one is called Scanner, which is pretty similar to the scan ability we saw in LEGO Avengers. Basically, you see some blue sparkles, pull out the scanner to scan it and make something new appear. What separates this from the scan we saw in LEGO Avengers is that in that game, you actually have to press buttons to make the thing appear. This time, you don't have to press any buttons, it's just revealed automatically. Since this game came out half a year before LEGO Avengers, they seem to have added the button pressing after the release of this game. I guess TT Games saw the scanner ability in this game and decided that the ability just wasn't hard enough, because LEGO games are known for their difficulty. Vivian was one of the random employees in that one control room in Jurassic World who had a surprising amount of screen time. She seemed to work closely with Claire, the female lead of Jurassic World. But Vivian never showed up in later Jurassic World films. Apparently, she went and joined the CIA, as did other high-level Jurassic World employees. Vivian was never playable in the game, which at first is a little confusing considering how much screen time she got. But after thinking about it, it makes sense. She never really left that control room aside from that one scene where Vivian witnesses Simon Masrani, basically the John Hammond equivalent for Jurassic World, get on his helicopter and almost instantly get killed. Spoilers. Anyway, Vivian has 3 abilities and shares 2 of them with Supervisor Nick. Instead of repair, Vivian switches out agility in addition to Jurassic World panels and scanner. Next up is the female lead of the Jurassic World trilogy played by Bryce Dallas Howard, Claire Dearing. Claire was essentially the head honcho of Jurassic World in its heyday before a certain T-Rex and Velociraptor hybrid outsmarted its creators, after which Jurassic World was closed down. In the films that follow, namely Jurassic World Dominion, Claire Dearing founded the Dinosaur Protection Group, which served to save dinosaurs from people with malicious intent. Overall, a decent enough arc as far as summer blockbusters go. I will say though, she didn't really serve much of a purpose in Fallen Kingdom, but that film barely served a purpose in general, aside from the last 5 minutes of the film where the dinosaurs were unleashed into everyday society. Claire Dearing has everything you'd expect from a female Jurassic World worker, which are scanner, Jurassic World panels, and agility. As one of the leading stars of Jurassic World, it would make sense for her to have 1, 2, perhaps 3 variants. Holy! We got the standard, survivor, and lab. The lab has her in her most proper, while the standard has her tying her lab coat in a knot in the front, and the survivor variant has her ditching the coat entirely. Just 3 variations of the same outfit. That's not a diss, by the way, that's usually how it goes with these variants. The entire Jurassic World film takes place over the course of a day or 2, after all. Nash here is one of the mercenaries and the pilot that flew the Kirbys in a more than reluctant Alan Grant to Isla Sorna to rescue their son. Technically, this guy's entire name is MB Nash, but I can't tell you what the MB stands for. Maybe my bad? My bad, Nash, because you weren't one of the lucky ones. No, he was one of the victims of the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3. But despite Nash's limited screen time, he still has 2 variants in this game. Now, it's another one of those weird situations where Nash's 2 variants are in different slots on the roster, as opposed to his variants sharing just one, which, again, is weird, but it is what it is, I guess. His standard variant is his standard look, as it always is, and his other variant is the runway variant, where he gets some sick headphones. Nash's 3 abilities are grapple, target, and track. Yeah, MB Nash. MB for not including any flying vehicles in this game where you would have shined. AJ Synindu was the best friend of the best hunter for the Isla Sorna dinosaur hunt seen in Jurassic Park: The Lost World. At least on camera. You don't see this guy doing much hunting. Even the wiki says he supposedly has a favorite weapon to use, despite not ever being seen actually using it. And eventually, when things go more ways than Sunday, AJ here becomes one of the several hunters that are taken down by velociraptors in the tall grass. Granted, he tried to warn his fellow hunters, but no dice. As a hunter, AJ Synindu gets all the hunter-related abilities, such as grapple, target, and track. Before AJ Synindu was confirmed to have died in the long grass in the final cut of the film, there was a deleted scene that would take place after the long grass scene, where he was actually planned to die. I guess those who survived the long grass, which included the main characters and AJ, would somehow obtain hang gliders to escape the velociraptors. It is at this point where they would be attacked by pteranodons, and AJ would be ripped apart, so I guess the off-screen velociraptor death was the more merciful ending to AJ, or more likely the cheaper option. Oh, by the way, remember how I mentioned that AJ Synindu was the bestie of the best hunter? Well, Roland Tempo right here is him. I didn't intend for the BFFs to be right next to each other on the ranking, but they share 2 of their 3 abilities, which are target and track. However, instead of AJ's grapple ability, it is swapped out for the climb ability, which is probably more useful anyway in this game. Roland Tempo initially didn't even want to go to Isla Sorna, but the opportunity to hunt a male Tyrannosaurus Rex was not lost on him. And male specifically, as if a female Tyrannosaurus Rex wasn't dangerous enough. But the baby Tyrannosaurus Rex that we saw at the beginning of the series was meant to be used as bait to achieve his goal, one that obviously didn't come to pass. The death of AJ hit him hard, as they were roommates. I mean best friends. So Roland Tempo quit the whole venture, which is a shame. I would expect the guy with probably the coolest hunter name ever to see it through to the very end despite the death of anyone.